Hello and welcome to Ultimate Autographs. I'm Kamen here with James. We're here for a special happy hour show. We're only ripping 5 series during the show. Our happy hour minis and jerseys, happy hour full-size helmets, and our remaining Flashin' helmets. The Flashin' series that include full-size helmets and minis. Looking forward to a great show today. James, how are you?
I am doing fantastic, my friend. Ready to rip some boxes.
Yeah, and the happy hour shows, James, have only been getting better and better throughout the week.
That's
so
right.
Let's keep the fire. Let's keep the momentum going. I'm going to drop the live break page and the link. Here's the link to the break page, and that's where you guys can hop in and get our happy hour series. We are only 3 slots away on the jerseys. So let's get started with looking at some of these jerseys, James. I just kind of flipped through our winner sheet, and none of these headliners have been pulled. So there's a few really big ones. Josh Allen, a huge name in memorabilia, you know, top 5 quarterback in the game. Calvin Johnson, Megatron, not a guy that signs a lot. We have Michael Vick. That's a stat jersey. I don't know if you look at the bottom, there's a lot of stats there. I'm sure they'll tell us he's the all-time leading rushing yards leader among quarterbacks, all-time in yards per carry, the first ever. There's a Tyreek Hill Oklahoma State jersey. So we're only 3 slots away from that one. And then the other one I want to throw up is the full-size helmet series, because we also have not pulled any headliners in this one. We got a Randy Moss Speed Vikings helmet in there. And Mike and I were talking about this. We actually like the Vikings normal helmet best of all their alterations, personally.
Yeah.
And that is a normal helmet. What do you think?
I could agree with that. I mean, the Vikings colors are purple, and their regular helmets are what display the most amount of purple. So
Sure.
I like it from that perspective.
And there's also a Kyler Murray Speed Flex in that series. So $40 a spot, you can get a Kyler Murray Speed Flex, a Drew Bledsoe camo. You can get 4 autographs with the New York Sack Exchange. And there's Brian Urlacher on the Lunar, one of my favorite players of all time. And then Sean Alexander, former league MVP. So that's a mix of authentics and replicas. Obviously, the Kyler Murray is an authentic because it is a speed flex. So who wants to close those up? Who wants to get in any breaks that fill up? You guys are automatically entered into the wheel spin. So that's fun. How you been spinning lately, James?
I've been on fire.
Okay, there you go.
Been on an absolute tear.
If that's incentive enough for you, that's where you need to go. So I am going to head to the dice roller, see what our dice roller is going to be on this show. So let's see. 7 on the dice roll. 7 on the dice roller. Very nice. On fire like your Golden State Warriors. I see you wearing the hat. Jordan Poole, what do you think? He's got to be in the starting lineup when Curry comes back, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're a championship team with championship leadership. Hopefully they can block out the noise, and, you know, it doesn't matter that Steph is coming off the bench. Whatever works, you know, just keep going with that. So
You would keep Steph on the bench, though? Like, long-term?
I said this to Donnie this morning. Steph is playing the best in the playoffs that I've seen him play in maybe ever.
Okay.
It works for him as well. That's why I'm saying, like, ignore the outside noise. If you want to come off the bench, Steph, and that works for the Warriors, then keep doing it.
That'd be crazy. Imagine, like, a 2-time league MVP coming off the bench, like, for good. That'd be crazy. I'll say this. I mean, he's going to do it this series. Like, there's only going to be one more game at this rate, you know. I don't know. That's a great question. That is, I don't know. I feel like eventually he's going to start. I mean, that'd be crazy.
Because that's what you would logically think.
Assume. But Steve Kerr can mess with people.
Right, and he could just be like, you know what, this is working, Steph, if you're cool with it. Jordan, if you're cool with it, let's go win a chip.
That's one way to go. I would probably go the route of either Wiggins or Looney, like, depending on who you're playing. If you want to go really small, you would dump Wiggins and play Draymond Green as a center. That's one other way, because I like the 3 of those guys together, Steph, Clay, and Poole, because they can all hit shots. They're a nightmare coming off screens. It makes it very hard to guard, but that'll be fun. We are now closing in on those jerseys, as I mentioned. We also knocked off a slot in the Flash Retirement Minis. New customer in here, Michael Osinska. Michael, welcome to the break room. We are glad to have you here in the break room. A lot of good stuff coming down on the break room. We're also 5 slots away from the Flashing Lights full-size helmets. We still got that Dak Prescott out there. So not that many helmets left in that series. Dak Attack is still out there, so we can pull him this afternoon as well. So for the new folks, our Flash Series, our Flash Series and our Happy Hour only ripping for about the next hour, James. So, but we are talking basketball. We can have pre-sales for the 7 o'clock show, and we do have a sick pick-and-roll basketball mixer series. Headliners like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, Julius Erving. I mean, that's great. So for every 3 breaks we fill up of our basketball pick-and-roll mixer, we'll open up. Well, actually, we're not going to open them. We're going to send you guys some cards.
You'll rip it yourself at home. You can put that
Yes.
on camera.
We can put it on camera. Why not?
These are Panini Contenders blaster boxes. Obviously, basketball for our pick and roll basketball mixer series. Mike was in earlier, our resident card expert. He said these Panini Contenders hit shelves just a few weeks ago. So,
Okay.
brand new.
Perfect. So we'll have that tonight. But let's focus in on the breaks. I agree with Larry Rossland. Let's close out the Flash and Full Size. I dropped that link directly in the chat. I'm also dropping the Happy Hour jerseys directly in the chat. I want to pull a Calvin Johnson. This is the second time we've seen Calvin Johnson in our break room. Did you pull that Calvin jersey last time, or who was that in Teammates? It was in the Teammates mixer.
I did.
I think you pulled it because I was in here Friday with you. I would like to get my hands on that. So speaking of champions, let's go Claremont Boys Volleyball 2022 League Champs. IFA playoff bound Sean Alcaraz, the greatest coach in California. You named the sport. You know, forget the Lakers. It's about the Claremont Boys Volleyball Champs.
They need a coach, Sean.
They need a coach.
Lakers need a coach.
Sean could be the answer. Sean could be the answer. It's like, oh, LeBron, you're having issues? Let me get you figured out. Sean Alcaraz coming in. All right, guys, let's close out those jerseys and let's get into those full-size helmets, and let's definitely get into the Happy Hour full-size helmets as well, because we have not pulled a single headliner in that series. So we have 5, 6 headliners, have not pulled a single one yet, James. The full-size helmets, let's not sleep on those. Never.
Wake up, get you a 5-hour energy on those.
I heard you're a big 5-hour energy guy, actually.
It was a phase.
It was a phase?
It was a phase. I'm not a big caffeine guy, so
Okay.
I wanted to do the 5-hour. I thought it would, maybe make me less jittery.
Uh-huh.
And, same as any other caffeine, put you on the verge of a heart attack. So
Yes.
phase.
I actually had that. We were talking about that the other day. Someone brought it up somehow, and I had a bad run-in with 5-hour energy where literally my heart was like pumping like crazy, and I had to go to the doctor and get like some medicine, and this was like 6-7 years ago, and I'm like, never again. So
Yeah, they're dangerous.
dangerous for sure. But what else is dangerous is the amount of fire we pull in this break room. So a lot of great stuff coming out in the break room lately. We've had a lot of Tom Brady pulls. And let's just get another quarterback. Let's pull Josh Allen in those jerseys 3 slots away. Maybe let's pull Kyler Murray Speed Flex on those Happy Hour. News about Kyler Murray, I saw that the general manager said 0% chance they trade him. But they haven't given him a new contract yet. I'll be honest, I believe, James, they don't have to give him a contract this year. They can wait and see how the rest of this year goes and then renegotiate next year.
It could be to their detriment as well. It could go both ways, because if he plays out of his mind and wins the MVP,
Gotta get the money.
then you could have signed him, $10, $20 million cheaper.
You also could make him upset by not signing now,
Which is what's going on.
which is clearly what's going on. But Kyler's the guy we have in this break room a lot. He's one of those fresh new guys we have in a lot of the quarterbacks. We've had Joe Burrow, we have Josh Allen right now, but Kyler Murray is a break room regular as well. He should be. I would wait and see, because he does so great the first half of the season, and then he just tails off in the back half. He gets those red zone picks, and I want to see how he delivers. If I'm the Cardinals, I might wait. I mean, he's mad. You know what? Get over it. You're going to play. He's got to play. He's not going to not play.
Well, I would say, the more obvious thing is that Kyler's play declines in the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at a certain point, like if it, 3 years in a row, that's the case. I think you kind of got to look at Cliff Kingsbury and say,
he's a part of the problem.
Yeah, why are we not making adjustments in the second half of the season to help Kyler? Why is it, all on his shoulders?
And didn't Kingsbury just get a new deal, or what's the deal?
I think there was some concern about that as well. I think beginning of the offseason, he could have been fired, but him and Kyler are kind of married together, and I think the Cardinals are backed into a corner with both of those guys. So Kingsbury got a deal, and it's looking like Kyler will get one soon.
Okay. This is that Kyler Murray Speed Flex that we're talking about. Speed Flex is pretty much the most high-end helmets in the business. That is what the professionals wear. I mean, I was watching the NFC Championship game, Packers 49ers, James, and it was Speed Flex, Speed Flex, Speed Flex. That's what the pros wear.
Comfy.
It is comfy. It is safer. And it is, you could potentially get that for $40 a spot, that Kyler Murray Speed Flex. I would say that's probably the sickest helmet in there, although I know Randy Moss charges a lot for his auto. That's a beautiful helmet. And then there's a Drew Bledsoe camo. Haven't had a camo in there in a little bit. Filth. That bird warm-up is disgusting, says Sean.
It's vile.
What is he talking about?
In our pick and roll mixer, one of the headliners is an autographed Larry Bird warm-up jacket.
Yeah, and that's what he wore when he won that three-point contest.
That's right. That's right.
Here's what he's talking about. I get it. The Bird warm-up, Larry Bird. That is sick. That's got to be the coolest thing in there. I mean, I know that Giannis jersey is really awesome too, but I love that Bird warm-up, man. And he holds up that one, like after he made that three to win the three-point contest. He's like, I got this. I'm Larry. King Larry, baby.
Larry Legend.
Larry Legend. Well, maybe we can pull that tonight, Sean Alcaraz. You guys can definitely get your spots for tonight's breaks. But we are only ripping our Flash series and our Happy Hour series during the show. Well, let's see. Richard Cox is in here. Michael Osinska's in here. I know Larry's got several carryover orders from the Flash and Lights from yesterday's show. So let's help those guys out and let's rip some boxes. We're only on for about an hour or so during this Happy Hour show. Let's make it a busy one. Let's make it a busy one. Where's Richard Cox, man? He'll close out a whole Happy Hour thing. He has this run of winning the wheel spin in the Happy Hour.
Yeah.
Seems like every show he wins the wheel spin.
He's here. He's in here on the Happy Hour jerseys. He grabbed 4 of those slots.
All right, so who's going to help Richard out? Maybe who's going to, steal that wheel spin from him? Sean, you interested in some jerseys, man? 3 spots away in the Happy Hour jerseys. That little Lawrence Taylor college action there on UNC. Jared Allen's in there. Michael Vick. Man, that's a Vic Falcons jersey. I would rather have Vic on the Falcons than the Eagles, personally. For memorabilia's sake.
Yeah?
I thought he did some of his most exciting time. He was actually a better player with the Eagles, I think, because he learned how to pass. But he was more electric with the Falcons because of his running.
Sure.
I mean, 1,000-yard rusher as a quarterback. How often does that happen?
It happens almost every season when Lamar Jackson's in the league.
Sure.
Not since Michael Vick.
Right. Other than Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick, it just does not happen. Look this up. 1,000-yard rushing seasons by a quarterback. I don't think Cam Newton quite got there. I know he was probably close. Yep, only quarterbacks to do it are Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson.
Bang.
Lamar Jackson's another guy we have in this break room quite a bit. He's, and it's funny because as someone who personally has said Lamar's a little overrated, he's getting forgotten about in all these young quarterbacks. You know, we're talking about Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson is still out there, and he's got an MVP.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, wait a minute. He's a baller.
Right.
And Bob Boulay, if he's watching, Bob's favorite quarterback is Mr. Herbert. He's a big Herbert guy. He says in 5 years he'll be the best quarterback in the league.
I'll hold Bob to it.
All right. Well, Bob said it here. I know Bob will be here in 5 years with Ultimate Autographs because he's a loyal guy.
That's right.
He'll be here. He will be here. Who wants to close out some series, guys? Who wants to close out those happy hour jerseys? 3 spots away. We are 7 away on the Flash Minis. 8 on the full-size helmets. 8 on the happy hour minis. And then 5 away on the Flashing Lights full-size helmets. Those are all flashes. Who wants to close out some spots? And how is everyone in the chat doing? What are you guys watching these days with sports? I'm personally really tuned into the NBA playoffs. I mean, wild set of comebacks. We had a couple days ago, I think the Sixers came back from 17 down to beat the Raptors. Mm-hmm. And then what did we have yesterday? It was like 20-something.
Two 25-point leads. 2 separate 25-point leads were blown by the Timberwolves against the Grizzlies last night.
And my friend calls them the Timber Puppies. And they played like Timber Puppies because they certainly weren't ready for that playoff environment. That game, by the way, Memphis ended the game on a 50-16 run. 5-0-1-6. 34 points at the end of the game. I mean, they not only won, but they covered. The betting line was like 7 points. They're down like 20-something. It's like, you bet on the T-Wolves, you're like, well, maybe they blow this lead, but they'll cover, right? No.
Lose by 12 or something.
Lose by, I think it was 9, but something like that.
Right. It was 9.
It's crazy. And then the Nets blew a 17-point lead also.
That's right.
And as someone who had the Nets plus 3.5 that night, I was sitting pretty. I was like, man, we got this. They're going to win this game. Blow it. Kevin Durant 0 for 10 in the second half. How often does that happen?
Never, actually.
Never. It is crazy. So the NBA playoffs are wild. And you look at some of these series. I mean, I was ready to count my Bulls out, but now Chris Middleton's out. That Bulls-Bucks all of a sudden looks more interesting. You look at,
Tonight. 7:30.
7:30. Maybe I'll keep an eye on it during our show tonight. And then you look at the Pelicans and Suns. Devin Booker's out. Like, that's a series now. It's like some series that I thought were going to be sweeps could be 5, 6, 7 game series, Who knows? I do think the Suns will be fine, but I think the Bucks, I would still pick the Bucks to win because Giannis, we kind of talked about this. Giannis might be the best player in the game right now. Like, he might have, surpassed LeBron and Durant with what he's doing now. I think Giannis is going to take over. The Bulls still have no one that's going to shut him down, but it is not going to be a cakewalk for Milwaukee.
Nope. Role players are going to have to step up, but I think that's what makes Milwaukee probably one of the best 2 teams in the league is their role players have that experience and will step up in those moments. The Bobby Portises, the Pat Connaughtons, the Grayson Allens, they're ready. And they're chomping at the bit for the opportunity. And
Bobby Portis in Chicago will be interesting because he got in that fight with Mirotic a few years ago, punched him in the eye. And it's funny because Portis wasn't that popular in Chicago, but he's beloved in Milwaukee. I mean, outside of Giannis, the most popular Bucks player is Bobby Portis.
For sure.
They chant his name as soon as he enters the game, and it's gonna be fun. To see how he does in Chicago. But I agree with you. They've got a lot of great role players. Drew Holiday, very underrated. He's not a role player, but, he's very underrated. And you mentioned Allen, Connaughton. Those guys can really shoot the basketball. Bulls are going to have to step up even without Chris Middleton to win that series. So it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. I want to rip some boxes, though, guys. Who wants to rip some boxes? Who wants to pull some fire in the break room? Who wants to do it? Who's going to be the hero? As our co-host Mike says. Happy hour jerseys, 3 spots away. I will drop that link in the chat. Josh Allen, man. That would be a sick pull on the Bills jersey. Calvin Johnson, that's another good one. I would love to see those pull. And it says that is only available for the 4:30 p.m. show, guys. Those breaks are not going to be here tonight at 7 o'clock. Will not be available. We have the NFL draft just around the corner. I think it's next Thursday, right? It starts
Yeah, next Thursday.
next
Absolutely right.
Thursday.
Wow,
It's time flies, man.
crept up
Time
on me.
flies. The Bears don't have a first round pick, but I'm curious to see what the Chiefs do. I'm hearing receiver. Speaking of the NFL draft, we do have these NFL draft jerseys up as well as minis. So this is what is going to work. Anyone that buys this slot that's $229.99. I know that sounds overwhelming. I know people ask, like, if you get a spot, do you automatically win something? In this series, you do.
You do.
You do. You automatically get one of these guys, and you get to pick the guy you want when you win. 9 out of the 10 people get to pick. So, Sean Alcaraz, you get your spot in these first-round Mega Draft jerseys, and you get your top spot here in the randomizer. You can say, I want the Merino.
Number 1 overall pick.
Number 1 overall pick. Those are breaking next Thursday at 7 with Mike and I. We'll do that next Thursday at 7. But get your spots now. That is one not to sleep on. And that straight cash homie Moss jersey is pretty sick. Any Viking fans in the room? Because we have a lot of Randy Moss in the room. Sean Alcaraz is in here. What did Sean hop into? The jerseys. So we're 2 away on the jerseys, guys. Let's close out the jerseys. 2 spots away. What jersey do you guys want in that jersey series? I know Josh Allen and Calvin Johnson are the obvious ones. But I'd say Austin Eckler. He's a guy that you don't want to sleep on. He's a really talented dual threat running back. Some people say he resembles James. You.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
That James. A lot of Jameses come through this room.
Sure.
Players, customers. Caught me off guard there, Kamen.
Yeah.
Should pull up a picture, see what the chat thinks.
Let's see. Let's pull it up right now. Let's do it. I like it. Where do you stand on that?
I mean, I'll take it. I'll add it to the list.
Add it to the list. All right. Put the randomizer up. Austin Eckler. I mean, I'm not saying you guys are not twins, like, but you guys have a similar resemblance. I could see it. Are you posing? He's posing. What do you guys think?
Trying to give you guys the 360.
Austin Eckler, James Corte. You were a football player, James.
I was.
You were not a running back, though.
I did play running back my freshman year, but
Okay.
I was a receiver.
Receiver.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, Austin Eckler is kind of a receiver if you think about it.
He is.
Like, he does get a lot of catches. Really good guy to have on a fantasy team.
Absolutely killer to have on a fantasy team.
Those PPR leagues, my girlfriend had him, and she helped him get to the championship. Where she lost a heartbreaker, but she got there.
And that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Shout out to Christopher Pesta for snapping up those last 2 spots. We'll get this break going right away.
All right, Christopher Pesta, I know you're a big Cowboy fan. We do have our flashing full-size helmets out there, Chris, as well. Dak Prescott is still out there in those. But we are going to get started with the jerseys. We got William Spencer, a new customer. I think he was new yesterday. Carryover order into the happy hour jerseys. We got Richard Cox. We got Sean Alcaraz. And Christopher Pesta already knows what to do. Box 10, James.
You got it.
He's like, oh, there's the last one. Save the best for last. Box 10. I'll take that off the ticker. We're going to random you folks up, and we're going to rip our first box. Dom, you haven't missed anything. You're in at the right time. We're about to rip our very first break during happy hour. Very first break. Let's keep going and get a bunch of breaks done, though, guys. 7 is the dice roll as chosen at the top of the program. 5, 6, and 7. All right, Sean, you should be up top, which is the NFC North. Christopher Pesta, you should be at the bottom, which is the AFC West. Take the randomizer down. That's right. So, Sean, NFC North. We got Richard Cox. Richard's got the NFC South, which would be that Michael Vick jersey. William Spencer, NFC East. Christopher Pesta, NFC West. We got Richard Cox in the AFC North. Richard in the AFC South also has the AFC East, which could be Josh Allen. And then Christopher Pesta out there in the AFC West. First break of hopefully many during this happy hour show. First of many. All right, happy hour jerseys. Box 10 as called out by Mr. Pesta. Now, Calvin Johnson, by the way, is NFC North. Sean Alcaraz. And Sean, not Calvin, but you are getting yourself a win, and you are getting a Hall of Famer, Sean Alcaraz. Dan Hampton. Legendary Bear, won that Super Bowl with that 85-86 Bears team. And get this, it's a stat jersey. Dynamo Hampton, 4-time Pro Bowler, NFL 1980s All-Decade Team, Super Bowl 20 champion, Hall of Fame 2002, part of the best defense of all time, the Dynamo. Very nice. Hall of Fame 2002 on the inscription there. HOF 2002. Beautiful start. Sean Alcaraz. All it takes is one spot to win. Sean, you're taking home the Dynamo. And he actually lives pretty close to our studio here, from what I'm told. A guy that I think has dropped by the studio before.
Yeah, he comes by.
He hangs with the bros.
Yeah, sometimes we have a couple drinks in the parking lot.
I love it.
Danger.
I love it. Dan Hampton.
Sean, you're also getting a guy in Dan Hampton on the stat jersey there who is probably on the autograph Mount Rushmore, along with Curtis Martin, DeMonte Dawson, and I guess we'll have to complete that Mount Rushmore another time. But
yeah, that's a great autograph. I agree with you. Amon Green, another one that I think belongs on that list. Dan Hampton. Oh, man, so blessed. Thank you, says Sean. Sean, you're welcome.
Sweet.
This is worth a lot more than $26, Sean. That's all it took, guys. All it takes is one spot to win. And Sean can get a beloved wheel spin, because he loves that a lot as well. So let's keep ripping boxes. This is an example of the fire in our break room. We're still 5 away on the flashing full-size helmets, 8 away on the happy hour minis, 7 away on the flash retirement minis, 8 away on the happy hour full-size helmets, and we'll be 8 away on our happy hour jerseys number 2. So guys, let's keep ripping boxes. I noticed we did close up a practice squad. That will rip during tonight's program. So Dylan Landis, you will see that break tonight at 7. Who's the biggest Bears fan at UA? That's a great question, Sean. So we have a whole bunch of Bears fans at UA. James, you grew up a Raiders fan, so
yeah,
I would say probably of all the hosts we have, you're probably the least biggest Bears fan.
Absolutely.
So Mike, I know Mike said growing up he wasn't as into football. He's grown into football more. Steven is a big Bears fan, but I think Steven is more into the Cubs and Bulls.
Yeah, and Steven says he's a Bengals fan.
And he loves Joe Burrow.
So it's got to go to...
It might be me. But I know I have the Chiefs, though. You'll say I also like the Chiefs. So
yeah, what about,
take away from my fandom?
I think so. In this case, comparing you to the other guys, what about Chris and Matt? Are they included in this?
Oh, yeah. Our boss is Chris and Matt. Like, I know Chris is a pretty big Rex Grossman fan.
There you go. Yeah, he said that he would want Rex Grossman and Jay Cutler to be a part of his dream golf foursome.
Okay.
So I think that in itself might be evidence enough.
All right, so it's Chris Chiros. That is one of our bosses. Biggest Bears fan at UA. Chris takes the cake. I would definitely say I'm up there. James, for the record, if the Bears played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, it would be a brutal decision. I would cheer for the Bears.
Okay.
I've been a longer Bears fan. There's just more to say about the Chiefs. I don't want to get on here and start talking about the Bears because there's nothing good to say. But I will say they do have new management, and I'm hopeful that they'll turn things around. All of you are a hot mess on your teams, haha, says Sean. There's a lot of teams. I like a lot of teams. Yeah, James is all about Raiders. He's pretty obvious.
I just represent where I'm from. That's it.
Raider Nation.
That's all. Raiders, Warriors. They used to play right next door to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I rep the Bears too. Maybe I need to talk up my Bears fanhood a little more on the show. Get some love from you guys. We do have a lot of Bears stuff. I mean, I love anytime we pull a Mike Singletary. I get excited about that. Devin Hester, we had him recently in the break room. We do have a Brian Urlacher in those full-size helmets. Hester and Urlacher were my two favorite players growing up. I love Peyton Manning and Kurt Warner, but in terms of Bears players, those were the guys. Urlacher, the leader of the defense, and Hester, I mean, it was such a blast watching him return. They bumped that Soulja Boy song. He gets out there and he's like, let's go. I'm housing this one.
And I could tell you, Kamen, like you mentioned earlier, you know, I played ball my whole life all the way up through high school.
Yeah.
And I returned kicks and punts and stuff like that. And I was in high school right about the time that, you know, Devin Hester was
the man.
Yeah, like you said, he was the man. And I could just remember myself and anybody else in our, you know, I'm sure entire state that returned kicks or punts were pretending that they were Devin Hester. I mean, the dude was absolutely electrifying.
It's not a bad guy to emulate. Very hard to do what he did, but it was definitely a joy to watch. And if you look at like I actually just saw, it's funny you say that because I just saw on Twitter today, Devin Hester Miami Hurricane highlights. You pull up his college returns, you could probably tell like a lot teams didn't watch the tape enough because you can tell that he was going to do that stuff in the NFL too.
It was even worse in college, like what he was doing to you know, a kickoff team. The guys were less able to stop him than you know, a group of NFL.
Oh, I know. By the way, Sean is saying, can you please have Chris on the show and hand deliver that Bears jersey to him from me? Maybe a little incentive to approving my co-host opportunity. I'll still get the UA tattoo as well. Sean is fully committed. Chris, if you're watching, we'll give you this jersey if you let Sean co-host. He still has to get the tattoo though. That is non-negotiable, Sean. The UA tattoo is a must.
Is that what that was? He was trying to back out of that and do something else?
I don't know. He says he'll still get the tattoo. So we'll see. You just got to get it tatted somewhere where you can show us and for it to be appropriate.
Yeah.
We don't want any tattoos on your behind or anywhere like that. I want the tat. Sean wants it. Sean is a big fan of UA. He wants the tat. I like that, Sean. That's a good attitude.
I have a feeling that once Sean gets that tattoo, he'll be unstoppable in here.
I have a feeling too.
It'll be like Thanos having all the Infinity Stones.
Thanos, all the Infinity Stones. You hear that, Sean?
There you go. He said,
Trouble.
On my hand.
On my hand. So I can show the box with the logo. That's right. I like that. I like that. Sean is definitely killing it. You know who else is killing it, James?
Who's that?
Michael Osinka. Michael Osinka's a new customer, guys. He hopped in to the Flash and full-size helmets. Let's help our guy Michael out, and let's fill that up. 4 left, says Dom. Talking about the Flash and full-size helmets. Dom, was that your friend? I want to say Dom was in here last night telling us he's bringing a buddy into the break room. I think he said it was Michael, but Michael didn't order last night, but Michael was just maybe wanted to scope out, see how things worked last night.
Okay.
Now he's in here playing.
All right.
Osinska.
All right.
Osinska. I'm sorry about that. Osinska, Michael.
Even better.
I will get that right. That's his BFF. Awesome. Well, hey, any man that is a friend of Dom is a friend of our show because Dom Veluso is the man. Unless you're talking to Jason Amer, who says, Dom, get out of my breaks because Dom beats him with 1 spot when Jason has 4. Jason Amer has a love-hate relationship with Dom Veluso.
Totally understandable.
Understandable. All right, guys, let's get those Flash and full-size helmets filled up. I will drop that link in the chat. 4 spots away. I know Larry Rossland also really interested in those. And then beyond that, whatever you guys want to do, we'll rip it this program. But it is a happy hour show. We can stay on a little bit more than an hour if things are going really well. But it is, quick show. So we definitely got to get moving here. I know we're going to fill up the Flash and full-size helmets because we're 4 away. But beyond that, we got to get the orders rocking and rolling if you guys want to make sure we do more than 2 breaks. You know, we got to do let's do at least 5. That's the goal. Let's fill up one of all of them. $20 a spot on the happy hour minis. We have $25 a spot on the Flash retirement minis and $40 a spot on the full-size helmets. I'm going to run through these headliners again. Look at these full-size headliners. Kyler Murray, speed flex, the talented young quarterback, the first guy ever to get to 60 touchdown passes and 30 rushing touchdowns in his first 3 seasons. Sean Alexander, former league MVP, one of the all-time rushing touchdown leaders. Randy Moss, second all-time in career receiving touchdowns. We got Brian Urlacher, former defensive player of the year. Drew Bledsoe, underrated quarterback when it comes to all-time greats. And then the New York Sack Exchange. That's the full-size helmets. We are still 8 slots away there, but we only have 7 slots to go in these Flash Retirement Mini Helmet Series. Yes, the Brady got pulled, but I think pretty much all of those guys are out there except for Brady and Dorsett. Like, I want to get that Joe Green camo pulled. Or not camo, excuse me. Eclipse, a Darius Leonard camo. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in there. That is $25 a spot. And then this is the happy hour minis. I mean, look at these headliners. That is a loaded list of headliners. Let's pull those. A lot of flashes in there as well. So that's a good one. And then what's the other one we have up right now? We've got the Flash and full-size helmets. Look at this. Dak Prescott still out there. So let's hop in. The happy hour jerseys contain Josh Allen as well and Calvin Johnson. I know Chris is the program director, but Matty Ice is El Jefe. So should I gift it to him, LOL? It's a great question. Sean, here's what you should do. You should hop into another break and use your next win. Give 1 to Matt, 1 to Chris. What do you think, James?
Worth a shot.
It's worth a shot. Worth a shot. Bribery, Sean Alcaraz. Bribery. Man, I want to see those full-size flashing helmets, James. Really want to see one of those full-size Flash helmets.
Yeah, I want to see the light hit it. I want to see it illuminate the room. Man. How about that?
That would be sick. Definitely would like to see that. Let's help out the new guy, Michael Osinska. Let's help him out. Let's make sure he sees his first break here in the break room. He is in the Flash and full-size helmets. $60 a spot. 4 slots left. All flashes in there. I wish Jason Amer was in here because he can tell us how sexy those helmets are. That is Jason's wording, not mine.
Okay.
But I agree with him for the record.
Okay.
He tells us those are sexy helmets.
Next time, you might want to throw some air quotes on that bad boy.
Yeah.
You know?
Air quotes. Sexy. Sexy. We are also, by the way, pretty close to filling up some breaks for tonight's show. We're 4 away on the Johnson & Johnson minis. And we are closed out on the first practice squad. So we'll have a practice squad to rip tonight at 7. We are going to be back tonight at 7 o'clock. We're now on 3 times a day, Monday through Friday. 12 noon, that's 12 o'clock Central Time on Monday. Also 4:30 Central Time and 7 o'clock Central Time, Monday through Friday, 2 and 8 on Saturday and Sunday. So you guys can catch us, all the time. That is what, now let me add it up, James. I think that's 19 shows a week.
Sounds about right.
19 shows a week. James will be hosting tonight. We'll flip seats. He'll have fun. You're also in with Joe Aguilar on Saturday at 2. I'm a jealous guy. You get to work with Joe. I've never worked with Joe. So
J.A., man, a national treasure.
National treasure. I'll be in here Sunday working with Mike and Steven. I'll be hosting at 2 and 8 o'clock. Mike producing at 2, Steven at 8. We'll have a special giveaway as we do every other Sunday at 2 o'clock. That will be a lot of fun. So definitely keep it tuned for the new folks. I want to give you guys a rundown of when we're on. But we are only going to be on for 21 more minutes here during our flash show, unless we get really hot with breaks. So you guys want to rip some boxes, want to keep rocking and rolling, let's heat up here during our special happy hour show. I got confused. I said flash show. We used to do flash show. It's now happy hour.
That's right. We've evolved.
We've evolved. Who wants to do it, guys? I know some of you guys are in the chat. I know some of you folks are watching, who wants to rip some magic here in the UA live break room? Richard Cox, Jason Amer, where you guys at? Those guys are happy to close out an entire break. Also, as we mentioned at the top, everyone that enters into any of these breaks, James, gets a wheel spin. So right now we only have 8 folks in the wheel spin. So if you want to buy out an entire break, get yourself more than a 50% chance at a wheel spin. 1 to 100, and James is going to spin at least 90. I'm calling it.
Obviously.
Last time we were together, you spun like 3 90s.
Hey, I didn't come here to be mediocre.
That's right. We got the Giannis of the break room here, a rising star on the wheel spin, James Corte. Let's go. Giannis is in our break room. He's in that basketball mixer. You can get a Giannis jersey in that mixer.
We'll get into that tonight.
We'll get into it. Well, that was the hot series in the early show.
That's right.
We ripped 6 pick-and-roll basketball mixers.
And that wasn't by coincidence, Kamen, because every 3 breaks for our pick-and-roll basketball mixer series, we'll be doing a giveaway for one of these Panini Contenders basketball blaster boxes. You guys make sure you tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and get in on that action. We'll also have another giveaway involving cards as well, but give you guys that info tonight.
You'll find 1 autograph or memorabilia card per box on average.
Dang. Oh, I'll mention this, Kamen. Mike mentioned this this morning. Again,
okay.
I'll say resident card expert. He said there were 5 of the, draft picks in the NBA draft this year who didn't get their autographs in on time to be a part of the larger hobby boxes.
Okay.
So there are 5 autographs that are exclusive to this blaster box, if that makes sense. They didn't get it in time to go in the hobby boxes, so they're getting put in the blaster boxes. There's 5 exclusive autographs in there.
Okay.
That you can't get anywhere else.
I want to get a Cade Cunningham. I think that dude is the future, one of the, among the great players in the NBA. You look at his second half of this season, he was great. Started cold, heated up during the second half.
That's right, you just got to warm up a little bit.
So it's tough when you're, the only guy on that Pistons squad.
Right.
Looks like we got another order coming in. Dom Beluso. Dom is helping out his buddy. We're 3 away on those flashing full-size helmets. So we will definitely get that done this show, guys. You know James very well. 3 is the magic number. Once we get down to 3, that is guaranteed rippage on the air. I'm definitely getting in the 6-spot mixer for the bird, says Sean. There you go, Sean. Or you can get in now, or you can get in later tonight. Whatever you want, Sean. That is definitely good with me. I thought Sean wasn't a basketball guy. Last time we told us he wasn't a basketball guy. Now he sees Larry Bird. He's like, I'm in. I'm sold. You had me at Bird.
There you go. Larry Legend. Different story, man.
It's a different story. That's what Sean needs. Sean, hop into those first-round Mega Draft jerseys and get yourself a Dan Marino as well. That'd be pretty cool.
Go ahead, Sean. Break number 2 for that is up on the break page. You could buy out one of those basketball mixers, and you could grab the last 3 slots in our Flashing Lights full-size helmet series. I mean, if that's, if you're trying to do something like that, that'd be cool.
Sean, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Who else wants to join in? Who all is on that flashing full-size helmet mixer? Who's all in there right now?
We got Dak Prescott, like you've mentioned.
Oh, I meant customers, but Dak Prescott is in there.
Gotcha. I thought you meant the headliner.
Yeah.
Who we've got?
You can read the headliners too if you want, though.
Sure. We've got Jonathan Farrell in here, Dominic Veluso, Larry Rosslin, Michael Osinka, and Dominic Veluso.
Okay, and we got another one, Jeffrey Empson. Jeffrey is a relatively new customer, just hopped in as well. You're the man, Jeffrey.
There you go, Jeff.
When 3s actually meant something back in the good old days, says Sean. Sean was an 80s and 90s basketball fan. He's not as into the modern era. Different eras. Back then, you didn't shoot as many 3s. These days, it's like everyone has to shoot the 3.
Yeah, but they all don't make it.
That's right.
At
That's
an
true.
efficient clip.
Well, and if you think about it, you look at, like we're talking about Giannis. Giannis is dominating the NBA without the three-point shot.
Mm-hmm.
DeMar DeRozan, who was a top 10 player in the league this year, doesn't need the three-point shot.
Yeah.
So if you're really good at what you do,
That's it.
you do you.
Exactly.
You do you. I mean, even like Jokic and Embiid, like they knock down some threes, but you don't associate threes with those guys either, and they're MVP candidates. I mean, you look at the top 3 guys in the MVP race, Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, none of those guys are great three-point shooters. They can knock them down, but it's not their thing. So you can still dominate without being a three-point shooter.
Absolutely. And to your point about Giannis, that's a knock they had against him. They're like, he's great, he's dominant, going downhill, but he can't shoot, and at some point, that's going to be a problem for him. And he hushed all that. He went and got him 2 MVPs. He went and won a championship. He hushed all of that. He doesn't need to do anything. 2
MVPs, Finals MVP, and he got the ship.
And Defensive Player of the Year. Stop it.
Stop it. Dude has achieved a boatload. If you can play, man. 2 away on those full-size helmets, guys.
2.
Let's get them done. Let's close up the full-size helmets. Also, guys, let's hop in and do the happy hour minis. Let's do the flash retirement minis. Let's do the happy hour full-size helmets because we'll obviously fill up the flashing lights full-size helmets. But that could be the last break unless we really get rocking and rolling on the other spots. So if you guys want to keep ripping boxes during this happy hour show, let's not only close that out, let's get some spots on some of these other breaks. Only $20 a spot for the minis, $26 a spot for the jerseys. We had a Dan Hampton stat jersey that you're looking at, and we've got a lot of other good jerseys in there. Holy moly. We got Calvin Johnson, Megatron. I would say, for me, top 3 receiver talent. He doesn't have the longevity because he retired early, but I look at the most talented receivers, the best. It's Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson. For me, those are my top 3 personally. I don't know if you have other guys you want to throw in there, but
I think T.O.
T.O. would be the other one.
Yeah, I don't know where I'd put Calvin and T.O. in that 3 spot.
Sure.
Yeah,
what's left in the full-size break? Sean Alcaraz. Which one? The happy hour full-size? Everything is left, Sean. Every single one of these headliners. Brian Urlacher, Kyler Murray Speedflex, Sean Alexander Lunar, former league MVP, former defensive player of the year, Brian Urlacher. We got Randy Moss, one of the GOAT receivers, number 2 all-time in receiving touchdowns, and Drew Bledsoe camo. And you can get the New York Sack Exchange triple signed. I thought it was 4 signatures. It's actually only 3, I think, although it looks like there's 4 on the helmet. So, nonetheless, a bunch of New York Exchange signatures. As far as the flashing lights full size, which is, again, all flashes, the big name left is Dak Prescott. Not that many left in this series. We do have Dak still out there. I think Keenan Allen might be out there. I know there's a couple headliners out there. I know the Primetime got pulled. The Randy Moss got pulled. But we do have Dak Prescott out there still. So let's do some helmets. I don't want to just do a jersey. I want to do some helmets.
Let's go helmets.
Come on, helmets.
That's all I got.
Who wants to rip some helmets? I know Jeffrey does. I know Dom does. I know Michael does. I know Larry does. But looks like no one else does. It's just those guys.
I do.
I do. Me too. Me too. Let's rip a helmet, guys. Let's rip 2 helmets. And you are going to get an automatic wheel spin, guys. Automatic wheel spin. Automatic. Otherwise, guys, this might be the last break, as I said, unless we fill up a bunch of spots in the other breaks. By the way, I do encourage you guys to get your spots. Things do carry over, so whatever we don't fill up during this happy hour break, it'll carry over to Monday's happy hour. So if you're like, 8 spots away, when's this going to break? It'll break Monday. I know it'll wait a couple days, but, that's okay. So if you're interested in any of the helmets, get your spots now. Get your spots now. 2 away on the full-size flashing lights helmets. 2 away. The closer magic thing is a real thing. So, and people like to close with 2 spots sometimes. So if you're wanting to close something, hop in and do it. Because Dom just got another spot. So we now have 1 spot left.
Don't leave Dom hanging.
Don't leave him hanging.
He's a good person.
He's a great person. Great person. So that's going to rip, obviously, this program. It's just a matter of who closes it out. We will stay on regardless of what happens to make sure we rip this program. 1 spot away.
Una más!
1 away. Come on, says Dom. Dom says, come on. Let's do it. Let's do it. Man. When it's 1 spot away, you're just like, you're sitting here refreshing. You're like, come on. I'm sitting here refreshing.
Wait a minute. Wait for it.
Wait for it. Done.
We did it. Shout out to Jeffrey Impson.
All right, Jeff. You're the man. Jeffrey Empson. A relatively new customer. Glad to have you guys, new guys in here. It is great to have some fresh blood in the break room.
Boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Good to go.
All right, if you are in that break, that would be Jonathan Farrow. That would be Dom Veluso, Larry Rosland, Michael Osinska, Jeffrey. You guys drop us a box number. Let's see what we have on the ticker. We've got 1, 2, 5, 9, 14, 18, 20, and 23 available. 18, says Dom. 18 for Peyton Manning. One of the GOAT quarterbacks who's still out there in the hanging headliners, by the way. I'm actually going to finally pack up this jersey while you do that. I wanted something cool on the screen, James.
Definitely was cool.
It is definitely cool. All right. The Danimal. Oh, look at this. Jeffrey and Dom wanted 18. You know what that means. It's something good. Something good.
You got it, fellas.
All right. We're going to go 7 times on the randomizer. 7 times. For your divisions. Guys, you want to rip some more helmets during this program? Or jerseys or minis? Get your spots now. Get those spots ASAP. Let's fill up another break if you guys want to. All right. These are our divisions. Dom, you've got the NFC North. Jonathan in the NFC South. We got Dom in the East and the West in the NFC. You can get that Dak Prescott in the East. We got Larry in the AFC North, Jeffrey in the AFC South, Michael in the East, and Jeffrey out in the West. Again, all of these are flash helmets. So a flash helmet is going to be coming out of this box here. All right. Box 18. 18 of 25. So not many left in this series. Dom will win. He always wins, says Jeremy. Okay? Man, Dom's a winner. I think this one's a replica. Some of these are full-size authentics. Some are full-size replicas. As for who's going to win, this is a flash. As all of them are, but this is a sick flash. What player is it? I know the team. I think this is Fred Warner. I don't actually have the card in here, James, but I'm 99% sure it's Fred Warner because I recognize the signature and the 5-4.
I agree.
That's Fred Warner?
Yeah.
Perfect. Fred Warner, that is the NFC West. Who's in the NFC West? It is Dom. So Dom is going to win. You're right, Jeremy. You are right. Fred Warner, one of the best linebackers in the NFL, 20 Pro Bowler, first team All-Pro, more than 500 career tackles, tied for 11th in the league with 137 tackles this past season. Beautiful looking 49ers flash. Look at that red. That is beautiful. Fred Warner, second highest paid linebacker in the NFL, James.
As he should be.
Darius Leonard, number 1. Another guy we have in the break room. Fred Warner, number 2.
Part of that next generation of linebackers.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Don't jinx me, Ricky Bobby. He didn't jinx you, Dom.
Don't you put that evil on me.
Don't you do it. Don't do it. Dominic Beluso. Congratulations, Dom. Fred Warner. Man. My room is linebacker out, LOL. What linebackers you got, Dom? What other linebackers do you have?
There you go.
I'd say that's not a bad problem to have.
You got all the tough guys.
Got the big dudes. All right, guys, it is 5:25. You guys got 5 minutes to close up a break. If we get within 1 or 2, we might stay on a little longer, but I would like to have a break closed up in the next 5 minutes. Otherwise, we're going to do the top spot chase at 5:30, guys. So give you 5 minutes. Boys, poker night tonight. But see you tomorrow with Joey. Won't be on Sunday for Easter. Kamen, see you next week. All right, Bobs.
Peace,
Sounds
Bob.
good.
Have a great weekend, man.
Fins fans about to rule the UA. There you go. Have a good weekend, Bob. Happy Easter. Urlacher, Singletary, Zach Thomas, Ray Lewis, and now Fred Warner. Dom, man. And you got them all in this break room. What does it tell you? We got a lot of fire in this break room, James. That is awesome, Dom.
Damn.
Dang, that is a great list. I was going to ask which one of those is your favorite, but it's obviously Zach Thomas because he's a Fins fan. But other than Zach Thomas, what's your favorite of your linebacker helmets?
Dom, is that Ray Lewis on a hydro?
Did he win that hidden hydro? You pull that for him?
Well, let's see what he says here.
I know there was a Ray Lewis in the Catch Me If You Can reps too.
True.
But man, if that was a hydro, that'd be sick. That would be my easy answer. Ray. Okay, was it the hydro, Dom? You pulled that, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I just can't remember if it was for Dom or not.
It was sick. I was producing for you. I remember that. Last call for orders, guys. 3 more minutes here. We get within a couple spots. We'll stay on a little longer. Otherwise, at 5:30, we are doing the top spot wheel chase. Let's get into a couple other ones. We're pretty open, but if someone wants to get 4 slots, someone else gets 4 slots, we are happy to rip those. It's a rep standard helmet, so it got to be on the Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
Because we had that recently, that Ray Lewis in that series. 3 more minutes, guys. A last call for those orders. You guys hop in and fill up a break or get us really, really close. We'll stay on a little longer. Otherwise, at 5:30, we'll see who is the winning wheel guy or girl.
There you go.
Winning wheel guy. I was going to say winning wheel spinner. That works too. Otherwise, we have a lot of great stuff to get into tonight, guys. We have a lot of great breaks on the break page. We got the Loaded Dice football jerseys. Those are basically triple box breaks, James. Those are sick. Big names like Dan Marino, Jerry Rice, Aaron Rodgers. We have, what do we have? Practice Squad is a really good series. And then Pick and Roll Basketball Mixer. We talked about it earlier, but Larry Bird, Giannis, Magic, a lot of big names in there. So that is all stuff we're going to be getting into tonight. You guys are free to get your spots now as well. But if there's any other happy hour break or flash helmet, whether it's full size or mini break that you guys want to do, we got to get those orders in here in the next couple minutes. I think we have only 1 spot taken off. I think we have someone in the Flash Retirement Minis, the new guy. Otherwise, all those breaks are wide open. Michael Osinska. Michael, welcome to the break room, man. We're glad to have you. What's Mike's team? And Jeffrey, what's your team? Jeffrey is a new guy-ish. What teams do you guys like? James is ready to spin a big number on that wheel spin.
Trying to spin 100.
100.
That's a goal every time.
A goal every time. But go big or go home. Like if you're not thinking you're gonna go big, what are you doing?
Yeah, why even show up?
Why even show up? We need Bob to say like 90 on the wheel spin.
Yeah.
He guesses high, it's automatic. All right, speaking of the wheel spin, you have that list ready, right, James?
Yeah.
All right, Chase wheel spin. So we have 18 names from the 2 breaks we filled up. the Flash and full-size helmets. Let me get a drink of water here. And then we have our jerseys. All right, automatic, James. It's over. You're going to spin a big one because Bob has said 90 on the wheel spin.
I feel it.
So we're getting the names finalized now, guys. If you guys fill up a break while we're doing this, we are happy to rip it. It will not be a part of the wheel spin, unfortunately. So you guys have an opportunity to close out a break. If any of the happy hour or flash and light breaks close out while we do this wheel spin, we will rip those after the wheel spin. 5, 6, one more click. Christopher Pesta after 6. 7th and final click. Christopher Pesta again. Mr. Pesta, let us know what number you want James to start on. Otherwise, we'll start on 1.
Yeah, give me something, Chris. Come on now.
Chris, what number you want? What's your number, Chris? Chris is a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
Maybe he likes Emmitt
88.
Smith. Oh, it's 88. I don't know, 22, but 88's a good one, too.
22. I like 88, Chris, if you're listening.
88. James will spin a big one if you go with 88. Christopher Pesta, are you out there? We'll give you about a minute, Chris. Otherwise, we can start on 1, but if you want to start on 88, James, I'm game with that.
Yeah, you said he's a Cowboys fan, right?
He's a Cowboys fan. Likes those receivers.
Appreciate it.
CD, Michael Irvin,
Yeah. Drew Pearson.
Des Bryant.
That's right.
A lot of good 88s. If Larry Rawson is on tonight, tell him the helmet arrived all okay. There you go, Bob. Larry was in today, too, during this flash show, so maybe Larry's still watching, but we'll be sure to remind him.
All right, you ready?
Let's do 88. I haven't heard from Chris.
All right.
What do we got?
Yeah.
Big one.
Yeah, we did all right. A little 77.
77. That's not bad. 77.
Shout out the Portland Trail Blazers in the spirit of 77. The last time they won the championship. Or maybe
Okay.
the spirit of 79. Who knows? It was
right,
a long
well,
time ago.
I'll shout out Luka Doncic, number 77. How
There you
about
go.
that?
There you go.
An NBA superstar wearing the good old 77. All right, that'll do it for the show. We did just get an order from Chris Enderly, but Chris hopped into that basketball mixer. So,
Yeah.
Chris, we're now 4 spots away. We will rip that basketball mixer early on in the show tonight. I know we'll have a practice squad to get us started, and then we'll keep ripping boxes after that. Thanks again, Bob. My helmet is awesome, says Larry. Glad to hear you guys are enjoying the helmets. We are done for this show, but we're back tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time. See you then. See you there. UA Live Break.